After the $1 million gold card and the $100,000 H-1B fee, the Trump administration is now mulling over another six-figure price tag, this time for international students seeking to work in the United States after graduation. A proposed $100,000 fee linked to OPT work authorization could directly impact Indian students pursuing higher education in the US. So what is the latest six-figure condition that the Trump administration is considering? And could it make the journey from a US classroom to a US workplace more expensive? Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to another episode of Deep Dive brought to you by NewsX. I'm Savri Jindal. The Trump administration is reportedly considering a proposal that could impose a $100,000 fee linked to optional practical training or OPT, the program that allows eligible international students to work in the United States after completing their studies. If introduced, the proposal could significantly change the financial equation for students planning to study and work in the US. It could also have major implications for American universities, employers in countries such as India, whose students make up a large share of the international student population in the United States. So what exactly is OPT and why has it become the latest pathway to come under the spotlight? Optional practical training or OPT is a temporary work authorization available to eligible international students studying in the United States on an F1 student visa. OPT is not a visa. It allows eligible students and graduates to work in jobs directly related to their field of study and after completing their degree. Under the current system, graduates can generally work for up to 12 months through OPT. Students from eligible STEM, which is Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics program, can apply for an additional 24-month extension, taking their total post-study work period to up to 36 months. For international students, OPT is the bridge between a US classroom and the US workforce. It gives graduates the chance to gain industry experience, earn a US salary, build professional networks and recover part of the money invested in their education. It also serves as a crucial stepping stone towards long-term employment options, including employer-sponsored visas such as the H-1B. But now, according to a report, the Trump administration is weighing a proposal that could put a $100,000 price tag on this post-study work pathway. And that has raised a big question. After the $1 million gold card and the $100,000 H-1B fee, could international students now be asked to pay another six-figure amount just to work in the US after graduation? For now, the details remain unclear. It is unknown whether the proposed fee would be paid by students, employers or universities. There is also no clarity on whether it could apply to all OPT applicants, whether exemptions would be provided or when such a policy could come into effect. And those details could determine just how disruptive the proposal may be. If students are expected to pay a $100,000 fee, that could add a massive financial burden after years of paying for tuition, accommodation and living expenses. If employers are expected to pay, companies may think twice before hiring international graduates, especially for entry-level roles. A six-figure cost could make employers more likely to choose candidates who do not require OPT authorization. And if universities are expected to absorb or share the cost, it could put further pressure on the institutions that rely heavily on international student enrollment. For Indian students, the possible impact could be particularly significant. India is the largest source of international students in the United States, and large number of Indian students pursue STEM courses, where the possibility of working for up to 3 years through STEM OPT is a major attraction. For Indian students already studying in the US, the proposal could create fresh uncertainty about their post-graduation plans. Many have taken education loans or made significant financial investments with the expectation that post-study employment could help them gain experience, earn an income and repay their loans. For Indian students planning to apply to the US universities, the reported fee could change the entire cost-benefit calculation. The question may no longer be, can I afford to study in the United States? It could possibly become, can I afford to work there after graduation? $100,000 fee could make other study destinations more affordable or predictable post-study work routes that look more attractive. The impact could also extend beyond students. International students contribute to US universities, research programs, local economies, and the country's skilled workforce. If the pathway from education to employment becomes too expensive or uncertain, the US could risk losing students and skilled talent to other countries. But the report has already raised so many big questions. After putting six-figure price tags on pathways to enter the workforce in the United States, is the Trump administration now making the American dream more expensive, even for those who come to the country just to study? I take this conversation forward with Ms. Mitali Nikore, economist who joins us on the broadcast. Ma'am, appreciate your patience and your perspectives on this policy that the Trump administration is mulling over. What are your thoughts on it and how are you seeing it?
So, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to have this conversation. See, very honestly, for America and for the American economy, I would like to share a recent incident just to illustrate how important international students are. So I was in a recent, just last year, I had visited the US for almost a month, and I was traveling across different cities. In one of the cities, the summer holidays hadn't yet ended, and as a result they didn't have any students, locals or international students, to run some of the grocery stores and work in some of the restaurants, because nearly all of the retail employment in several small towns, which are primarily university towns, is a function of students coming in and students working and students buying goods and services. So literally, we found restaurant after restaurant is shut, grocery stores are shut. So it's not just these high level questions of international students investing, but the amount that international students spend in the US in terms of consumption expenditure, even in the years that they are there, the fact that they provide very cheap labor to the US economy in several student towns across the country. These are very invisibilized contributions. And the second very important point is that this OPT, if it becomes this expensive and if this is the amount that is, placed on the OPT, then it will become virtually impossible because the cost will just increase almost by 10%. And that could crowd out a lot of people who want to go to the US and study.
Right, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with us on this big story. On that note, we slip into a very short break. Thanks for watching.